Hi, this is TalkingBull Reacts. My name's Nick, this is Anthony. We are going to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Before we see the movie, we're going to give you our little rundown, expectations, thoughts, previews, and ideas. And then we'll watch the movie and get back to you with our final thoughts. So, I should say right away, never finished the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Fell asleep during it. Watched it at home.
There was a dance off, you didn't miss.
Fell asleep about maybe halfway to 3/4 of the way through. Woke up, credits were already rolling. Asked you, how did it end? You said it ended in dance off. I said, fuck that movie. I didn't. I'm not. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch anymore. Because I kept falling asleep before I actually did pass out. I kept falling asleep and waking myself up. So plus we had no intention. We didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters. We waited until it came to video and watched it at home.
Yeah, Guardians isn't really high on my list of movies to watch. Like it wasn't a bad film. I had no expectations for it just because I'm not a huge Guardians fan, and like I love the '80s soundtrack of it all just because I really like the music. But as a whole, I could give two fucks about
the soundtrack was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like that pushed the movie a little more mainstream than the movie itself, because I don't think the movie was particularly good. It wasn't one of Marvel's best ones that they put out, but it's ranked as if it is.
Yeah, well,
I think they have better.
We
better
differ
films.
On opinions.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the universe.
Yeah, I think they have better films and they've done better work.
Oh,
but
definitely.
It just didn't meet. It met the masses more than I think it met, like the fan area.
Popular opinion wise, I think people loved it as opposed to comic book fans who just don't feel the same way. I know I don't. I'm just not a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan. Of all the characters they pulled from, Guardians definitely isn't high on my list. I'm glad it worked for them, just to give them a different set of characters. As for the second movie, it seems to have a lot of weight on its shoulders based on it's the last movie before Avengers, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's...
No.
Yeah.
Well.
Thor?
Yeah.
You know what? Scratch that.
No, because technically it's going to go Guardians right now.
Yeah.
It's going to go Homecoming in July. And it's going to go Thor in November.
Okay, so my preconceptions of this movie are all incorrect then, because I thought this was the last movie leading into the Avengers, which this would have to set up the next set of movies.
No. It's the first of the last set, but it's...
Well, because I don't...
But yeah, it's not the last one.
Spider-Man Homecoming doesn't count.
Well, but Thor definitely does come out in November.
Yeah.
Ragnarok does come out in November.
No, that's true. So maybe Thor will... But again, this is the Avengers Infinity War movie. It's a galactic movie. So, based off Guardians being the galactic team...
Well, same with Thor.
I do feel... Yeah, Thor's in space.
Like, he left Ultron to go hunt for the things because he got that vision, remember? So, like,
that vision
they're pushing
that
a lot.
might not have been a vision, that was a vision.
They're putting some thought of Infinity War with Thor.
Thor the haircut, the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know, all my preconceptions of this movie were wrong. I don't know, I do feel like it's going to be heavy.
I think it's going to be,
the set of films.
I think what it has going against it is the first one was amazing, what will the second one do? Yeah. How well will it do?
Definitely.
I don't know if it will achieve. I think box office wise, it may achieve numbers.
Well,
same
numbers. It already did overseas.
Yeah, overseas it's what 130, 140 million already.
Yeah, it did that on its opening weekend last week. It's opening this weekend in the U.S., so we'll see. Yeah. And it still has, I think, Korea, China, and one more place over there to open the week after. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna make the money. I just don't know, like. Critically, the first Avengers did very well for them, too. Yes, it did.
So, I don't know critically if this one will do the same. I don't think it will.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it will fall short of being as good as the first one, just because the first one was so good and such a surprise.
Yeah.
It's such a surprise. So then you get into that thing of, like, let's just do the same stuff. Yeah. And then sometimes that works for you when you're like, oh, well, the first one, here's the plan. Redo the first movie, and you use the same beats and the same cues and then you get to it, and for whatever reason, lightning doesn't strike twice. It doesn't work the second time. Like, so I don't like sometimes it works. Maybe it will. I don't think it will.
I'm just hoping they tone down. Like, the first one I liked, but there were some very cringe-worthy moments in that movie, like, just terrible
They
jokes.
had a lot of puns in that movie.
It was way too punny.
Way too punny.
That's not
That's
funny.
punny.
Punny's not funny. Except that. But I love when we make jokes not only we find funny.
Punny's not funny.
Funny is not funny. Hopefully people like that. But there was some
put
cringe.
Down our shirt.
Yeah. You can, I'm going to see a superhero movie with Marvel. I have to wear a Marvel shirt. It's just rules of the law. But I'm hoping they tone down those moments because it detracted from the overall movie when you're sitting there and there's just like you're like, oh, you audibly.
Yeah, like you had these moments of like character happening and growth, and then there was this awkward joke that, for my liking, doesn't need to be there.
No, you can make.
I'm like, it takes you out of the moment.
Yeah.
But for, I think, a large majority group of people, those jokes were a hit.
Yeah.
So expect to see more of them. Yeah, expect to see more.
I'm always in the fucking minority of fucking people who think shit's good when it isn't. Mm-hmm. Iron Man 3, Dark Knight Rises, and I thought Spectacular Spider-Man 2 was good, but apparently what the hell do I know? Mm-hmm. But my expectations going into this is I just want them to tone that down and focus more on the characters, because the characters, while not my favorite or top tier characters, they are solid characters, and they're very well acted. Vin Diesel is great in this movie. Damn it! I was trying to do that. You totally ruined it. I was trying to do that seriously.
It's his best acting performance.
I was trying to do that bit with a straight face, but he ruined it. I am Groot. He's Baby Groot, which, marketing-wise, it's fucking genius. You take the tree that everyone loves and make it cute with fucking little googly eyes and pretend to blow shit up. People fucking love that shit. And of course, there's a talking raccoon, and people still love it. And there's still that awkwardness between Gamora and Pratt and Dave Bautista. Yeah. But have the dude just tone it down a little bit. Your movie was solid without all that crap in it. So hopefully they do tone that down and make a good film based off of that, because the characters are pretty solid. It's just those cringeworthy moments that really ultimately why I'm not a big fan of the first one and only have watched it that one time.
So let's go with this. We're gonna start scoring these things.
Okay.
1 out of 10. What do I
think my opinions on
going into the movie? What's your number?
I'm gonna give it a solid like number that I want it to be, or that I think it's going to be.
Well, number that you're expecting it to be. Like, what do you think?
Solid 7.
Yeah.
Solid 7.
I'd probably go with a 6.
Yeah.
Going into the movie, or a 7. Same with A.
Yeah.
I don't really have an interest in these characters. I understand that there's some importance to them because of the galactic side of it and the Infinity Stones and the Gauntlet and all that stuff. I get that point of it, but individually, characters, no interest in them. I hope that when I walk out of the theater, I felt like I got at least my ticket price covered in entertainment. I hope it covers my, okay, that was worth my
I'm gonna use my
$15.
I'm gonna use my scene points.
That was worth my $15 or whatever.
And then I can't be mad because I didn't pay for it.
And then, but there's a lot of new characters in this movie that I'm not familiar with. Like, correct me, his dad, I believe, Kurt Russell, and he's a planet?
Allegedly, he is.
How the fuck is a man a planet?
Ego, the living planet? Yeah. Apparently, I read this because I was like, how the fuck is a planet a person? I had the same goddamn thing.
And somehow fathered a child with an Earth mother, I'm assuming, because his mother was from Earth.
Yeah, this is some straight up
I'm like, what the fuck?
So, apparently, this planet is sentient.
Okay.
Just keep going with that. And he has the ability to make bodies for himself.
Okay, so we're talking like Universal Soldier when the computer, like Universal Soldier 2.
Yeah.
When the computer turns into Michael J. White.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you.
Basically, that's basically it. Yes.
So the planet just becomes a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
The planet's still there, but it kind of makes a sentient self.
Yeah.
And apparently, this guy fathered Star-Lord.
Okay.
Allegedly.
I don't even think it's... Well, yeah. We'll say allegedly now.
Yeah, I'm guessing through the course of the movie, it'll turn out to be false. I'm guessing.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's not false. I'm pretty sure he is the father.
I don't even know what the hell the point of this movie is. Like, not in the sense of why they made it.
One of the issues...
But, like, I don't know what the damn plot is my
I don't know the plot.
Yeah,
no, I think the plot is... Because it only takes place like a couple months after the first one. That was a big thing that I read the other day. Is this movie only takes place a few months after the first movie.
Okay.
So, and I think it has to do with Mickey Rourke's character.
Oh,
the blue guy.
Yeah, I don't.
Yondo,
Yondo,
something.
Yeah.
And he has to like transport them somewhere.
Oh, okay.
That was I think that was like part of their kind of like sentencing thing.
And he's in. They make him one of the Guardians, don't they?
Yeah.
And with the new girl, Mantis, and I think there's one more person in it, isn't there? They added 2.
Well, they upped what's her name's character? Karen Gillian. Like Pond. They upped her character. I forget, Nebula or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. They upped her character.
Are we the best people to give a reaction to for a movie we give shit all about?
But I know all the characters' names. Like
I am terrible with names. If you guys haven't figured that out.
I know all the characters' names for a movie I'm not really looking forward to, but I'm sure it's going to be good and entertaining.
Look for our reacts to Pirates of the Caribbean. Because that, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe Alien Covenant. But, whatever. Here's Guardians Vol.2 for you.
Yeah, so that's our pre-recording of Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.2. We will give you the update after we see the movie.
Hopefully it's good. Pray for us.
Bye. Welcome to TalkingBull Reacts. My name's Nick. This is Anthony. We just came back from seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.2. A lot better than I thought. Really, like
good first impression. It was much better.
Expectations were really low.
Yeah.
So, having watched half of the first one, not finishing it.
Yeah.
Going in, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this. I actually came out liking it.
Ta-da!
There were quite a few funny moments.
There was, yeah.
There were quite a few funny moments, and there were a few that went
like, what are you doing?
A little too far. Yeah. But all in all, they were more funny than not funny.
Yeah, right? Exactly. There was a lot less groany moments than I anticipated there would be.
Yeah.
So in my pre-thing, I said that I give it a 6 or 7. I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I'm going to actually increase my rating that I gave it earlier. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of good beats in it. There was a lot of... I don't usually go for the heart of the cards, like, we'll use the power of love and friendship to get through it. But in this instant, it actually works for all the characters and works in terms of the storyline and what they set up. And it was a really good movie. Like, I enjoyed it. Everything... minus the cringeworthy jokes where they tried a little too far to like make humor work.
It was mainly with Drax.
Drax. They tried too hard. He's the oddball.
We're just like
he's the oddball out guy. So he doesn't understand stuff, but he kind of gets it. So he just does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Which I understand, but like at some point you got to tone it down and just let it flow naturally out of it.
Yeah.
So good movie, solid movie. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing going into it. I believe I said a 5.
Yeah.
I would jump up to like the 7.
Solid. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a lot better than I thought. A lot more simple than I thought too. The whole movie takes place in what looks like maybe a day.
Yeah.
Like they meet his dad at the very beginning. He takes them back to himself or the planet. Like,
yeah, it's a very self-contained storyline.
Then they spend looks like an afternoon there or whatever, and shit goes to hell, and end of the climax, boom, movie's done. And so it was a simple movie, but it worked very well.
Yeah, it did. Everything flowed naturally. it worked. That's all I can say. Like everything just kind of fit into place. It was a very self-contained. One event led to another, and there wasn't any stretch where you were just like, all right, let's get back to what we're doing here. But no, it all flowed very well.
Yeah, there were never any moments where I was like, get back to the store, get back to or anything like that. It was always like, it was beat to beat. It was really good.
Yeah, so those are our initial reactions. So I think now we'll jump right into spoilers and talk more about the plot and characters and how they evolved and what happens to them in the main storyline. So guys, we're going to spoilers now, so if you don't want to be spoiled, keep watching. So basically what happens in the movie is Kurt Russell is Ego, the living planet, and he is in fact Peter Quill, Star-Lord's father. You find that out very early on. There's no misconception that he is. He flat out says it. It's true. And after that, they spend the lovely afternoon on a nice little planet, and then shit hits the fan, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
You find out that he's kind of a dick and wants to destroy every living...
Crazy.
Yeah, he's batshit crazy.
Hungry with power.
Yeah.
You know, he just wants to destroy the universe.
Yeah. I almost had a moment. I saw some blue, and I thought it was going to be a blue light in the sky, and I was like, motherfucker! But it didn't. It was a blue blob instead that was reformatting the planet, which is fine because it's not a blue light in the sky, so it was fine. And it affected everything in the cosmos, basically, so it was fine. I enjoyed the plot. It was well written. Every character got their chance to either redeem themselves for being a giant dick, or just in terms of like fixing their character flaws. I mean, they're still deeply flawed characters, but they go out of their way to try to fix those flaws, which you want in a movie. You want your characters to learn something and understand stuff. And yeah, it was great. I actually really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I can't stress that enough. If you didn't enjoy the first one and think maybe I'll check it out, I recommend going to watch it because I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the first one I waited 6 months to see, and it was still I'd still watch the second one over the first one if I watched it again.
Yeah, I would watch the second one again for sure. The first one I probably would never watch again.
So the movie starts off with I think is a great bit, but might have gone too long. He didn't enjoy it as much as I did. I
thought they lost me. I looked at you and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, he's done. He was done within the first minute and a half.
Yeah.
They do this great bit where he's hooking up speakers because Raccoon's like, oh, I want some tunes while they fight this alien. And he's like, this is a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. The alien shows up, and the speaker's almost hooked up, and Groot goes to hook it up. But it's so cute. He misses the first time, and then gets it in the second one. And then as the credits roll and all their names show up, in the background, the rest of the Guardians are fighting this giant space octopus thing. And Groot is just dancing through the cutscene, or the beginning of the scene. It's a good credit scene. It might have gone on a bit too long, but other than that, it was a good scene. I liked it. It was a good intro. It works for the tone of what they are. So, and again, the music is very well integrated into the movie. They don't overuse it like Suicide Squad did. Suicide Squad managed to get its entire soundtrack in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Anytime a new scene goes, they're like, we need 3 minutes of the song, roll it. But I did like the integration of music into the film, and there's different points in the movie where they actually go out of their way to play music
and reference
it, but it's not overbearing in a sense like, okay, we get it, Guardians likes music. But no, it's great, and he has a Zune now, so that's cool.
Yeah, it has 300 songs on it. He was amazed, like 300 songs.
That's actually quite a bit of music if you
on a Zune.
Anything really. Like, how much more music do you need than 300 songs?
I guess, but I mean, like you.
The man had a tape.
Yeah, I know.
Like a tape to a Zune is like fucking a Mac to a anything. It's a Nintendo to a PS4.
Yeah,
basically. But there are some great character moments that I really like into it, and one that stands out particularly for me is the scene with Drax and Mantis, and he's talking about his daughter, and you can tell it hurts him to talk about his daughter, but he's enjoying the moment, and Mantis leans over to get, I guess, a feeling of how he's feeling, and she just cries, and you can tell there's sadness behind what he's seeing. But then, as she keeps holding him, there's this moment of joy where she also feels the joy that he feels about his daughter, and it was just a really nice, touching scene. And I don't think there was any music playing during that. I think it was just them and the dialogue, and it was just there's no interruptions up until the point where they need to transition to the next scene, which was also well done. And it was a nice scene where they're just sitting quietly and he's reflecting on his wife and also his daughter, because they were talking about his wife beforehand, and it was just a really nice scene with a nice character moment for both characters. Even Drax just has a moment where you see him reflecting on his life and his past, and I really enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, well, it was a good scene.
Yeah. There's some great dialogue between Quill and his dad, where he's like, you left. What was it? He was yelling at him for leaving. That he's like, hang on, let me get my train of thought here. I jumped the gun. Ego is like, you don't understand. I had to leave because I couldn't bear to be away from her. And he's like, I get it. You basically left, and I had to watch her die. And it was just this scene where he was like, oh yeah, shit, I did that, basically.
But then you find
out later he fucking killed her anyway.
He fucking killed her. He's the one that gave her the fucking tumor.
Guys, if you're a villain, don't tell your hero you killed his mom.
Yeah.
That is like the worst thing you can do, because that immediately he starts winning Peter over. Peter's like, this is a great idea. He's like, oh, I'm all for this. He's entranced, and he's like, oh, by the way, I killed your mom.
Yeah.
And Peter's like, you fucking killed my mom, and proceeds to shoot him in one of the great scene. It was just like really dumb. But I get why he did it, but it was just stupid to say your plan. There's some great moments between Quill and Gamora, like talking about like their love, but the unspoken love, and they work it really well within the context of a TV show. Where it's like as soon as they do it, the ratings dropped, and there was a great scene. And then before that, he was yelling at her about like, "There's a show about you being a jerk and I'm being great, and no one would watch that show. It had 0 viewers." And she's like, "I don't know what any of that shit means," and then she just leaves. And then her sister tries to kill her with a spaceship.
Yeah,
which was hilarious. She's like, "If I can't shoot her, I'll just fucking land the ship right on her head." And then they find the mass graveyard, and you find out his plan. You're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to tell the villains how to do their plan, but if you're going to have a bunch of dead people, don't just stick them on your planet. Send them somewhere else where they can't see them.
It wasn't. I got the idea that he was the villain.
Yeah.
But it wasn't right away. Like,
no, it was.
I thought like something else was gonna happen. Then I was waiting for something else to happen that would spark a villain or something. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute. Nothing. That's not happening because it already did.
Yeah.
4 scenes ago, and he is the villain. They just haven't told us yet. And, it's like
it's so great and so subtle. There's little subtle hints and little subtle like you're like maybe not everything's on the up and up. It seems a little suspicious, but as you go, you're like, oh shit, he's the bad guy, and then the movie just fucking kicks off from there, which is great.
Yeah.
Yondu is awesome in the movie. There's this great scene with him and Raccoon in the jail with Groot. And
trying to get the headpiece.
Yeah, they break his other headpiece, and he sends him in there to get it, and he just keeps coming out with the stupidest shit. He comes out with his underwear,
a desk.
Yeah, he's like, go find this, and he comes back with a desk, and he's like, we told you it was the size of a fin. He's like, Groot. You're like, this is great. And then the best bit is he comes back with just a toe.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you guys have a drawer of toes? He's like, no, who has a drawer of toes? He's like, we will never speak of this again. It was great. And then there's this bit, there's so many great bits with Groot. Like, he doesn't overdo it, and there's just...
The part with the bomb was funny, where he tells him, Rocket tells him, you're going to put the bomb where we need you to put it. You're going to flip switch A, you're going to flip switch B, and you're going to hit this button.
Yeah.
Whatever you do not hit this button.
And then he's like,
he asked him to repeat it to him a couple times. And
I am Groot. I am Groot. No!
And he pushes, he selects the bad button.
The kill everyone button.
Yeah.
That's a great bit.
Okay, try again. He does it a second time. And same thing, Groot gets to the end, he goes to hit the kill all button. And Rocket's like, that was the exact same thing you just did a second. How are you saying the same thing twice?
It was a great bit. And the bit why he doesn't like hats.
Yeah, that was weird.
He's like, he was just like, you don't like hats because you think it's his head, but then it's not his head and it just looks weird. He's like, yeah. He's like, Groot. He's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, You could tell everyone in the theater loved Groot.
Yeah.
Like they were just anytime he was on the scene, they were all awing or laughing at him because he's just adorable in this movie, but not in an overbearing way. Like they made it seem the marketing for
the
it
marketing was off. Like I
Yeah.
thought I thought it'd be a lot more in
Yeah.
your face, but it wasn't. So
No, it was a good mix.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was a good mix.
I just there was a few jokes at the beginning of the movie that they were working it really well with, like, oh, why do you have guns? I'm the gun guy. You're the sword. And she was like, oh, we're fighting a giant thing. This sword isn't gonna do it. And then there's a bit between them, and it was really funny. And then she ends up using the sword anyways.
Yeah.
And then there's this great bit with Drax in there trying to stab the alien because he's like. They're like, oh, it's the same density on the inside as the outside, and Drax is an idiot, so he jumps in thinking it's a good idea. I thought it was a good idea. Why wouldn't it work? I thought it would work. It makes sense. The inside of your body is, like, technically weaker than the outside.
Yeah.
Like, makes sense to me. I was all for his plan. I'm like, oh, he's going to cut his way out. They're like, no, it doesn't work that way. And I'm like, I think it does with most species, I would guess. If someone jumped inside us and started cutting their way out, I think it would be simpler.
Yeah.
So, I'm with Drax. His plan was pretty solid in my book, but he's an idiot. The makeup was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Everything looked good. There wasn't any where you could tell it was like CG or just bad makeup.
Really
yeah. They spent a lot of money on it, I think. So it works.
Just a few dollars.
I like the CGI where you can tell it's not CGI. There's a lot of movies where you can like blatantly see it's CGI. But there was that weird bit with the car at the beginning, though, where it looked like a micro machine.
It looked like a miniature.
And I don't know if that was just
Yeah.
because of the 3D, I would think.
Maybe.
But I was just like, why? Like, I'm just waiting for the hand to keep pushing the micro machine.
Yeah.
But it was a good movie. I liked it. It was great plot, just great. I'm just gonna say great because that was my
enjoyable. I liked it a lot. A lot
I
better
did too.
than I thought. So
Yeah, and
I would definitely see it again.
oh yeah, I would watch this one again when it comes out on whatever
Netflix.
stuff comes Netflix. Yeah. Nobody buys
Blu-ray.
nobody buys print anymore. What you saying? The podcast print is dead.
Yeah.
I think that counts for physical media also. But yeah, I think that was a good movie. I would recommend watching it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Okay. Well, those were our thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. My name's Nick. This is Anthony. Thank you.